I cut all my hair off. That's going to be the scariest thing this Halloween.
The jump scare.
Today. Yeah. What's up, guys? Happy Halloween. Hope you're having a great day. Unlike us, we were going to wear costumes and then it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So we're just us. You know, we've been reading some more Reddit stories on the channel lately, and I'm just going to cycle through all of my friends and everybody I know while I read Reddit stories. And then when eventually I run out of people, then we'll stop and then we'll be done.
Yeah.
So today we got Spencer.
Hello.
Who is my wife.
Yes.
So I picked out a few today that I thought would be kind of fun to read.
Are they spooky?
They're not spooky as in like they're actual horror. They're more spooky as like, ooh, I don't want to be there. That's not good. I wouldn't want to be in that situation.
These
That would scare
people
me.
are out there.
I was going to say, you know a lot about horror and a
do.
lot about just like horror media and movies and stuff like that. And honestly, I don't think you really get scared that much. But I think the worst horror movie for you would be to watch something like
Impractical Jokers.
Impractical Jokers, or like the Scott's Tots episode of The Office.
It's terrible.
So this is Spencer's horror. This is
Secondhand embarrassment.
Boo! Again! Ah! Before we do that, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor. Looking for a way to decorate with your favorite movies, games, and shows without all the hassle? Displate has you covered with high quality metal prints of beautiful art from a bunch of different fandoms. These aren't your average posters. They're durable, easy to hang. Seriously, just stick a magnet on your wall, and they look amazing. Put on the protective leaf, stick the magnet, and boom. Any design can go where you've placed your magnet. No need to drill, a hammer, or a line. If it's crooked, you fix it like that. They've even sent me some incredible Lord of the Rings displays with their new Textra finish. It has this cool 3D effect. I've been switching out my displays for a while now, and it's such a fun way to update my space. Plus, we use them on our live streams, and it's really cool just to have these designs that we can switch out every so often. Big shout out to Displate for sponsoring this video, and for also hooking me up with these awesome metal prints. Hit the link below in the description or the comments, or use code XP to get the best discount possible. That's the code, that's it, it's XP. Thanks again to Displate. Back to the video. All right, so the first one today is first ever D&D game ruined by main character player.
Oh boy.
For context, I've been following D&D for 3 to 4 years, watching content and whatnot, but never got the chance to play. Today, I had my long-awaited venture into the game with a group of randoms through my university's TTRPG society.
Oh boy.
The game began with this person being 30 minutes late to the group, leaving us unable to proceed too far without them. They arrived, settled in, got caught up with the game, and immediately began to make it about themselves. Every single conversation about what to do next was interrupted by them coming up with some crazy plan. And even when we'd already decided as a group to do something, they insisted on doing it their way, with the DM just going along with it. As a part of the module we were running, there was a plot to assassinate the lady of the town during a local tournament, which we had uncovered and planned to draw the would-be assassin away to take him down together, only for this person to waltz up to the assassin, ignore our original plan, and attack him, leading to a one-on-one duel that anticlimactically won in one round. Okay, cool. The big bad of the module was dead. 3 of our party hadn't rolled a die in 2 hours. The player was hailed as the lone hero, and I left with a bad taste in my mouth, having been relegated to a side character in this person's solo adventure. Sorry to be another rant post, but I just hate that my first chance at playing this game I love was an overall bad experience.
This is mostly the Dungeon Master's fault.
Yeah, it is. It is. 100%.
But it does seem like this is a group of people who don't know each other. So maybe they're just having trouble being like, hey, stop taking control of the scene.
Yeah, it's easy to see it in like this context where you're seeing it from like an outside view of like, oh, if I was in that situation, I'd be like, hey, can I play the game? But that's really awkward to do.
Yeah,
it's so hard to be like, okay, I guess I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be the guy that's like, hey, maybe don't do that. Sitting and not playing for like 2 hours sucks.
We've had scenarios like that before where it's like, this person went off and did this thing for 45 minutes and it had to be like a conversation of like, this cannot happen. This is, it's so boring.
Yeah. This is also very newbie D&D to me. Like that's also, because we did the same thing. Like back in the day, I remember when we would have games like this where somebody would go off and do something for like an hour. And it's like, can we play the game? Like, I want to be involved in this. I don't know. I think you should always, if you go off by yourself, you should always take an effort to make it fast and include the other party members.
And to just ignore the plan that they probably spent 45 minutes actually planning, because planning anything in a game takes forever, and then just be like, no, actually, I'm just going to walk up to him and kill him.
They waited for him, too. He wasn't there for like 30 minutes. That sucks. Yeah. If I was the DM in this scenario, I would have like had a way to include the rest of the party. Like, okay, you go up and fight him. Does everybody else do this? No, you guys are just watching. Okay, you guys watch as this happens. What do you guys do? You know, like you just always throw it back to the rest of the players to see what they're going to do at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, and then maybe they can stop that player from acting up.
Next.
Am I the asshole for burning another player's spell book?
Probably.
Hi, Reddit. My group is sort of torn on whether I'm right on this. So is it spellbook. It's torn.
I was burned.
Shut up. So hopefully I can crowdsource an answer. My group has been playing this campaign for around 5 months. The relevant players are myself, Tiefling Ranger, Jess, Human Sorcerer, and Dave, Orc Fighter. All fake names, of course. D&D names are fake.
Yeah.
Those aren't the people's names.
Jess, the Sorcerer, and Dave, the Orc.
That's their character names. Yeah. My characters come from a tribe that hates arcane magic.
It's already off to a bad start. what my character would do. I hate sorcerers and wizards.
Divine and druidic casters are fine, but wizards and warlocks are heavily distrusted. Oh, red flag immediately. That sucks. Do not go into a D&D game being like, oh, can a character do that? I actually hate that.
I actually hate that.
Unless you talk to that player and are like, hey, is it cool if like I hate what you do? And they're like, yeah, I'm cool with that. But like, don't go into a game being like, oh yeah, I'm chill with everybody. But if I see a monk, dude, it's on site.
Unless your plan is to grow as a character. And you got to let everyone know.
Exactly.
Like, hey, I might be pretty mean towards your character, but I'm never going to take the thing that they need to play the game and then destroy it.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Divine and druidic casters are fine, but wizards and warlocks are heavily distrusted, if not outright hated, while sorcerers are seen as cursed. Okay. Naturally, this sort of character can cause friction with arcane characters, so I made sure to triple check with the rest of the party before I made this character. Okay. No one was planning to play a wizard or warlock, nor was anyone planning to multi-class into wizard or warlock. Jess's character, much like mine, sees her sorcerer's powers as a curse, so he had a lot of great roleplay moments early on, like me promising to help her find a cure, and training her to use weapons so she wouldn't need to rely on her magic. Alright, for the first few sessions, this was the status quo, and it was great. All right, well then, cool. I'm a little worried because they just said that nobody would play it. Nobody said that they were okay with it except for the sorcerer.
Yeah.
The other players were just like, oh, I won't play it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But eventually, Dave started to become the exact opposite of me. For whatever reason, he started blindingly trust every single mage we encountered, even evil mages we were mid-combat with. Like we'd be in the middle of a battle with a necromancer, and the second he told us we could work together, Dave would just accept, and we'd have to roll persuasion to bring him back to our side.
Okay.
Wasting several turns while the necromancer continued to pelt us with spells. Okay, whatever. Obviously, our characters became rivals after this began, making snide comments whenever the other failed, or actively interfering with the other's plans. I didn't mind this rivalry, but a little RP drama never hurts, and Dave seemed to enjoy it too. But Dave's inability to doubt mages did cause actual problems, like the situation above. And I believe most of the party, talked to him above a table about this, and his rationale was something to the effect of, well, my character's dumb, and wizards are smart, so he assumes wizards always know best. For reference, his intelligence is 15 and his wisdom is 10. Dave...
Okay.
By the way, I know his stats.
Yeah.
Actually, he's a 15, so he can't be dumb. Dave also took note of the RP between Jess and I regarding curing her powers. He began to convince her otherwise, and that she should embrace her sorcery. Again, I didn't mind this in theory, as it simply adds to the roleplay around Jess's feelings regarding her power. Being pulled between normalcy and excellence is a common trope for a reason after all, but it wasn't simply RPing when the situation arose naturally. Dave would actively seek out Jess and start preaching about how amazing sorcery was, and that she was a fool for trying to get rid of it. It always felt very unnatural, the way he just randomly bring it up in downtime. Okay.
It seems childish on both sides.
Yeah, I was about to be like, yo, Dave is me.
You're both in the wrong. Neither of you should be doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Fast forward to the party reaching level 5. Everyone's sticking to their classes except Dave. Oh. Dave decides to take a level in Wizard.
So he is smart.
God damn it, I think Dave is really funny. I immediately warn him about my character's feelings regarding wizards, and he just shrugs it off. I think his reply was something to the effect of, I can handle it if you decided to be a dick about this. Oh, Dave.
Oh, come on, Dave.
Dave, you're just trying to start a fight, Dave. Now, I was ready for the in-character friction this would cause. What I wasn't ready for was how much Dave began spamming his spells out of combat. So I'm just imagining they're walking around and he's just magic missiling everything.
Yeah.
Almost every action he took involved magic. Drinking in a tavern, he used Mage Hand to hold the mug. Sitting around a campfire, he cast Tensor's floating disc to use that as a seat. Writing a letter or in his journal, Prestidigitation to create the quill. And every time he cast something, I'd swear he'd glance at me. Though I may have imagined that bit. Eventually, he's like, I cast Mage Hand.
His Mage Hand's like,
It's Steven.
yeah.
You're
wasting my time.
Eventually, he offered to tutor Jess on controlling her magic, which she refused. He made several more offers over the next few sessions, usually after he failed to convince her about how great sorcery was. He offered to teach me magic so that I could get over my backwards hatred of the arcane. My response was threatening to burn his spellbook if he ever tried to cast a spell on me. Keep that in mind for later. I wonder if that's important to the story. Fast forward to the last session. The party's at camp, preparing for a long rest. I describe my character wiping the dirt from his armor, and Dave immediately jumps in to cast Prestidigitation to magically clean it off. I have the Mage Slayer feat.
Uh-oh.
I have the feat where I kill this guy. I have the kill Dave feat.
Yeah.
I just took it when I leveled up, which lets me make an attack as a reaction when a creature casts a spell within 5 feet of me. So I describe my character instinctively slashing at Dave's arm when he casts a spell. I didn't deal any damage. It was merely a warning shot. Dave was pissed and decided to cast Shocking Grasp.
Oh boy.
They're fighting. The girls are fighting. At our table, PvP is permitted so long as both players agree. You shouldn't allow that. By this point, I was tired of Dave's BS, so I agreed to PvP. I was a level 5 ranger, while Dave only had 4 levels in fighter, so I had extra attack, while he didn't. Naturally, this meant that my damage quickly outpaced his, and he fell unconscious within a few rounds. I decided to follow through on my threat a few sessions prior and threw Dave's spellbook into the campfire since he'd cast several spells at me. This immediately pissed Dave off above table since I was crippling his ability as a wizard. Jess and the GM sided with me. As Dave had initiated the PvP, while Dave and our 4th player argued that destroying his spellbook was too harsh since I had already beaten Dave anyway, and this was just petty. I'm the 4th player, which admittedly I was being a little petty in that moment. It's been several days since this session, and neither I nor Dave are willing to back down and admit we were wrong. So Reddit, what do you say? Was I too harsh? Was my action justified, pettiness aside? This is messy.
You guys shouldn't play together.
Yeah, I think that's the obvious answer, is that you guys don't get along and probably shouldn't play together. But I mean, if let's say this was our friends, you know, like what do you think the situation is here?
This wouldn't happen at our table.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, let's say these are kids that you're DMing.
Oh.
This reminds me of children.
Yeah,
which maybe they're like high school students in like a club or something. Who knows? But like, imagine you're running it and you can't change the group.
Yeah.
Like you have to. What would you do to solve this situation? I don't think you should have burned the spellbook. I think that was too far. If I was DM, I would back that up. I'd be like, no, okay, rude, but you don't do that. Like, that doesn't happen. And also, I wouldn't have allowed PvP to happen. That's just something I don't allow in my games. If somebody starts PvP, I'm like, stop. We pause the game and I go, we're not doing this.
After like the first couple instances of them kind of being snarky towards each other and a little bit petty games before, you got to shut that down.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It can't happen at table.
Exactly.
It makes everyone else uncomfortable. It's not good to have like anger towards another
character.
Player.
Yeah, exactly. It's also just,
or even the other player, because he says that Dave gets like actually upset out of game.
That's the thing, is that they're both being petty towards each other is the thing.
It sort of seems to me like maybe both of them have a little crush on Jess. And so they're like, well, I'm going to have this thing with your character. And then Dave goes, well, I'm going to have the opposite with your character.
You're right.
If you keep saying all this, I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to be a wizard now.
Dude, yeah.
That's what that seems like to me.
Magic is actually cool. Yeah. I think your magic is awesome, actually.
And Jess, you want me to teach you magic?
Yeah, but I don't agree with the OP that they went into the campaign being like, I hate magic. Yeah, that's stupid.
Don't do that.
You can be distrustful of magic and be like, in my tragic backstory, a wizard killed my whole family and it's really bad. But it's something that you should, like you said at the beginning, strive to unlearn, because that is actively going to hinder the game.
Not to persuade the entire party to your side and then hate their character when they disagree.
And if you want to play that kind of character, then don't play Dungeons and Dragons, because Dungeons and Dragons is so fundamentally surrounded around magic that it's not Game of Thrones, dude. Magic is very important to like the confines of the game. You can't be like, I don't like it, actually.
Next.
I have invited my stepmom to play with us. This may have been a mistake.
It says lighthearted.
Maybe she light-sharded.
At table? Have you ever light-sharded at table?
Yeah, let's talk about this. You ever sharded at the table? No, I don't think I've ever sharded at the table. We've had a few audible farts throughout the years. Some people take it with honor. Some people don't.
Sometimes I'm like, it stinks.
Sometimes people drop silence.
But I don't hear it.
And no, they're sneaky about it. They're like pulling cheek to the side or something. It's crazy. Like farting at the D&D table is already insane.
Yeah.
If I've ever farted at the table before, it is because it was an accident. I was maybe laughing too hard or something. And it's like that's the most embarrassing. When you laugh so hard, you go
yeah.
That's the worst.
That happened to me when I was pregnant with Marceline.
Yeah, well, if you being pregnant, you're excused.
It was Icewind Dale. Y'all were too funny.
That game slapped. I think if you fart at the table, you need to own it. You need to own it, and that makes you powerful. Yeah, I'm not going to oust anybody.
It's completely quiet. Like you could have totally gotten away, and you're just like, I farted. You said own it.
That was me. I farted right now.
I take full responsibility.
It was me.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be awesome. Yeah. That would be kind of awesome. So I'm not going to say who it was, but that did happen on one of our streams.
It did.
And honestly, the person who it was, they're so much more powerful. Mad respect. I was like, oh no. And then they were like, and I was like, dude, nice. And that's awesome. I strive to be that powerful. Yeah. I remember Emma talking to me afterwards. She was like, I think I would pass away. I think I would never show my face again.
There was an episode of Curse of Strahd where someone timestamped and put, did Spencer fart? And I was like, I went to the timestamp. I think I had stood up and like the chair had moved because I know I did it too.
Dude,
the chairs we used to have were like,
yes, they would totally go, but they would sound like a fart, dude. Yeah,
I was like, no, I didn't. It wasn't me.
So I'm a 36-year-old dude. My dad has been a pretty good dad to me, but he was quite a terrible husband to my mom. And a few years back, they got divorced. Mom's happy, dad's happy, divorce was amicable, all is well. Well, about a year after the divorce, my dad started dating Alice, fake name. Alice is 39. They got married 2 years ago. Me and Alice actually get along super well. She's into a lot of stuff I'm into, and even the stuff she's not into, she's at least aware of. My dad marrying her actually improved my relationship with him and my siblings, since her being around makes me and my wife visit a lot more often. And since she loves hosting and is overall a lot of fun, we actually think she's a great addition to the family. At some point, it turns out, Alice got really into The Legend of Vox Machina, the Critical Role animated series, in case there is literally anyone on the sub who is not familiar with it, basically a retelling of their actual play series. It's amazing.
It is.
When she told me that, I made a series of mistakes which resulted in the most awkward few months of my life.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. I mean, how would you not? How would you not be like, you should try D&D?
What if this guy's stepmother is like role-playing out and he's like, I did not need to know that about you.
Whoa.
You.
Oh, no.
She's like hitting on his character.
That would be crazy. I have a group of friends. We play an Exandria campaign. We started it on 5e. Oh yeah, I mean, how do you not mention if she's watching Legend of Vox Machina? We started it on 5e, but when that whole WotC OGL fiasco happened, we transferred to Pathfinder 2e. Hell yeah. But we keep the setting and the plot unchanged. That's actually really awesome too, because they used to play Pathfinder. I personally am not great into Critical Role and haven't actually watched Legend of Vox Machina, but my group is great and the DM is a wonderful storyteller and makes the best NPCs. Their DM's Jack.
Yeah.
That Jack ran an Exandria campaign and has amazing NPCs and would love that kind of stuff. When Alice told me she really enjoyed Legend of Vox Machina, I got really excited and told her about the campaign, and she got really excited. She never actually played TTRPGs before, but was excited to try and was a self-proclaiming theater kid, so RPing wouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
I obviously, and at one point to my great regret, got excited too. I love Alice. Alice is great. My group is great. And that can only mean good things. I ran this by my group, GM plus 4 players, and they all were pretty cool with having her. Though some jokes were made about my hot stepmom.
See, there it is.
They haven't met her yet, so I accepted this as a good-natured ribs. Okay. That's so funny.
She leaves your dad for your DM?
Yo! I taught her the basics of Pathfinder 2e and gave her a rundown of the campaign thus far and helped her create her character. It was a swashbuckler, loosely inspired by Jack Sparrow and Scanlan. She was incredibly excited, and I was too. So excited, I failed to see the literal parade of red flags spelling, "Oh no!" This character concept was, like, sure, what I got from her backstory kept referring to all the people she seduced and all the hearts she broke, but that was just flavor, right? Right? Wrong. She shows up to session 1 and was her usual self. She's fun. She's charming. Her introductions are great. She's hot as
Oh no.
She's fun, she's charming, and her introduction is great. We're in a bit of a bind with a boss fight, and her characters show up to basically save our asses. She still needs a bit of help, but OMG, she's a magnificent RPer. Her attacks and feints are all super descriptive. She's receptive to critique. Okay.
I mean, it's necessary, I guess.
To critique, they're all like,
but for her
don't do that.
first game, I guess, is a little weird, but...
Her attacks and feints are all super descriptive. She's receptive to critique. She knows enough of the rules to keep combat flowing. It's great. And the character is goofy and charming. And she does some silly accent, which everyone loves, and is very vulgar, like a pirate should be. By session's end, everyone is fawning over her, and I'm group MVP for bringing her back. This is on par for the course. Hell, I love that woman to bits, and she's super hot. I am not at all surprised by this. We all leave feeling great. Then the next session rolls around and shit starts hitting the fan. See, we're playing on a physical table, but we have a group Discord, and our GM uses a tablet to show NPC art, and some NPCs in town, and some NPC in town is very hot with a W. Hot. Alice begins flirting with the NPC, and I think this is just, she's playing a charming character. She's been charming, except it keeps getting more serious. And worse. Uh-oh. Oh my God, you were right.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God, you were right. Now, my entire party is deeply invested in Alice's character's love life. Entire sessions are wasted on her going on dates with this NPC.
Entire sessions?
Buying clothes and preparations for said dates, and helping him resolve some side quest the GM clearly wrote purely to have the NPC get more screen time. I am in hell. By this point, I've spent like 3 sessions listening to my stepmom flirting with my GM.
See?
I wish the ground would swallow me whole. This is so crazy. When we finally leave that town and reach the next one, I think things might finally turn around. But no, she remains incredibly flirty. Made no commitment to that guy. I am still sitting there listening to her flirt with this guy, GM, though now he's doing a different accent. I regret inviting her. I want to die. And the party is loving it. I love
It's just
the
bad
idea
for
that
him.
he's like, no, why? And everybody else is like, yeah.
We're gonna bang your mom.
We're gonna bang your mom. I don't know if it's because she was the only woman at the table and there were mostly single guys, and her character flirted with their PCs too. But her presence just shifted the entire campaign in a way that made it super awkward for me, but it got worse. We were having a campfire talk, and her character opened up about some trauma in her backstory, and my character, Cleric of the Raven Queen, talks to her about loss, mourning, accepting death, all that good stuff, since I'm playing him as insightful. And Alice, bless her heart, is acting her heart out. She looks me in the eye. There's tears forming in her eyes. She's having a character moment, an important one. But me? I am suddenly sick to my stomach because I realize what she's doing. She's flirting with my character? How? By crying? I am now sitting here looking my friggin' stepmom in the eye and having to play out a scene of romantic tension with her.
Yeah.
And this isn't just flirting, mind you. I see the plot hook she's dangling. She talks about how surface level her connections to other people always are, but how she seeks something deep, yada yada. I see what this is foreshadowing for. She wants to ship our characters, and it's the worst. Because remember, the other members of my group are strangers to her, so there was still some reservation. But with me, we're friends. We're family. She lets herself go all out. She puts a hand on my knee. She looks me in the eye. In real life? Wait, in real life? In real life or the game?
I think in real life.
In real life.
She's like...
I was for a moment I worry that she's gonna literally go for a kiss. She didn't, thank God. Everyone thinks the scene is friggin' spectacular, and session ends on a high note. Not for me. I am deeply uncomfortable. I have now spent half an hour awkwardly flirting with my stepmom. This is gross. This is possibly the most awkward I have been in my life. The only bright side is that this was a breaking point for me and things got better afterwards.
Okay, we're good. Okay. They're gonna talk. They're gonna talk.
Just imagining in the car. She's like,
did you not like that I flirted with you?
He's like, you were being super horny.
Can you stop being horny?
Your character made me horny. Wait, that's not what I meant to say. Oh my God. Alice drives me home, and on the way, she notices I'm kind of off. So she asks me what's up, and I tell her. She's now the reddest I've ever seen, and she's super apologetic. She's covering her face and won't look at me. She explains that she just thought this was what playing TTRPGs was, since this was what they did on the show, and the flirting and the dating was all kind of a part of it, like theater. And she's so sorry for making me uncomfortable. Yeah, see, that was my thing. I don't think she knows. I'll make it clear. She wasn't being aggressive or overly sexual or anything. It was just a very uncomfortable situation for me. I apologize. Maybe not making things clear and not stopping the scene when I felt it was inappropriate, and we decided to talk it out with the group over Discord and explain the situation. We do so the next day, and everyone's pretty cool about it. They're pretty chill dudes overall. We established that Alice and her character are no longer to flirt with me, and maybe turn down the flirting overall. And she does. Things improve a lot after that, and she's still playing with us to this day. Alice is genuinely a wonderful person, and I love her, but she is also my stepmother, and for those horrible, awkward 30 minutes, she was trying to flirt with me, and I will never let her live this down, and thankfully we can laugh about it now. Like sometimes she'll ask me for the salt, and I'll go, do you need salt or do you need a real deep connection?
Oh.
Whoa. That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. That was really funny.
Yeah. I'm glad they worked it out.
I don't know. There's something about that is just so hilarious.
She's going to play Captain Jack Sparrow mixed with Scanlan. This is not going to end well for you, buddy. It's not. She's gonna flirt with your friends.
What's so funny to me is the thought that she's like, yeah, I'll show up. We can have fun. We can play this game. And they show up. He's not in on it, and they're all like, yeah. They all just start like,
your mom's super hot, dude.
All of his friends betray him.
They're giving him high fives. And immediately
start being like, dude, his stepmom's hot as That's so crazy.
They called him the MVP.
Oh, dude, you need MVP. Bring her back every week. Yeah. This sounds like a hilarious, awkward story, but nothing too horrible or horror. You mentioned she is receptive to feedback and changes when she is called out. It just sounds like no one called her out for it. I
don't think anyone else had a problem.
That's why it's funny.
Especially the dungeon master. He made like a 3-game arc.
He was like, this is the game now. Yeah. This is the game now.
And then they leave and he immediately made another character
Guys,
for her.
The game is now about me your mom. Yeah. Well, hope you guys have a great Halloween. Mm-hmm. If you want more of us yapping, you can go check out the Arcane Lounge podcast. We got a new episode up today, along with the new episode, the new bonus episode that's also up where we did some horror trivia. It was a lot of fun, so you should go watch it.
Yeah, it was super scary.
It was so freaking scary. My timbers were shivered, my boots were quivering, and I leapt through the ceiling, and we have to get that fixed.
Yeah, that's a...
Yeah,
it's a Jacob-sized hole.
Yeah, it's just like a perfect outline of me. I went, yo!
Youch! That was good.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right, bye.
Bye.